Alright, troops, how'd the weekend go? I had a good one, to be honest with you. I wasn't in my bed all day yesterday, but see that way, just lying on top of my bed, the only way I moved off of bed was to go, to go and get a munch or fucking to the toilet. Had a wee tad of a hangover, but fuck it, it's allowed. I don't usually drink enough to get a hangover, do you know what I mean? So, it was a good laugh, but fucking Uh, I'm just fucking kicking about today. Had to clean my lizard's cage, man. It was fucking sand all over it. But it's just the responsibilities of having pets, in it. But uh, some of their lives are gone dead well. They're quite funny because see, like sometimes because I realise I don't really know what I'm doing a lot of the time, and I just fucking wing it, man. But you know what? Like it would be good to sit and learn how to edit and do this and do that and razzmatazz it up. But sometimes I think when I watch a channel and it's what people keep saying to me, your channel's dead real and all that. And then see when I watch a channel, right, I don't think my channel's real. I just think it's just my channel, mate, when I'm just sitting talking shit. But if people like it, then they like it. Sometimes you're your own worst critic, aren't you? And I'm definitely my worst critic. But if I watch a channel, right, and it's like, I'm like, this fucking channel's brilliant, but then they revamp it and it's all this AI and mad robotic voices and all, I end up like kind of like, this isn't the same now. But the end of the day, it's your channel, and do you know what I mean? If it works for you, it works for you. Like, it doesn't matter if there's maybe one or two people that don't click with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's your shit, man. Do what you want with it, innit? But I was watching a podcast that Sean Toll done with 5 Johnny Boy Steele and Joe Steele, right? And it made me kind of think. So they were doing a podcast about prison, because obviously get a good bit of experience between them on it. I mean, and I think I don't know how long, I can't mind how long that podcast has actually been online. But to be honest with you, I actually don't watch a lot of podcasts, and maybe I should because of the kind of I could have my own ideas and all that shit. But like, my life's got like I'm just going 100 mile an hour a lot of the time, and when I mean that, I don't mean like my body. I mean like my brain's going 100 mile an hour. And sometimes when I'm back for class or doing something, it's like I just want to fucking like it's like my house is a decompression chamber, and that links into a lot of stuff what they were talking about prison and its effects on people. And before I go into that, I do want to say that definitely we do need prisons. Like, I'm not one of these prison abolitionists. Like, I would like to actually have a conversation with some of them to make sure I'm picking them up right. Because if you want to abolish prison, what have you got in its place? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, when we're talking about like the effects of prison, I also wanted to go into like prison culture, and because obviously when if any of you have watched this podcast, right, it's on Sean Toll's social sessions. Obviously, Johnny Boy Steele he's obviously an older generation. I think he's in his late 60s, so they've been doing time like for fucking before I was born, right? And even so, Joe Steele's a bit older than me. Sean Toll's a wee bit younger, and uh, 5 O's like maybe 20s, mid 20s, whatever. So maybe half my age, whatever. I don't know. Rough guesstimate on it, but it made me think how much prison has evolved since like all these generations have all been doing time. And obviously before I'd ever hit prison, way before I'd hit prison, I'd read a lot of stuff, watched a lot of films, some it true to life, some it no true to life, but also watched a lot of kind of prison shit. Anytime there was anything about jail, I'd watched it, and it made me think about what Sean Toll, I think, and Joe and all that were all saying how they had been traumatised by prison. But I would say, for me at least, and I would dare say them, but I don't want to speak for them, we were traumatised before we even hit prison, mate. I feel that I was primed for prison. What I mean by that is, certain life experiences signpost you into making certain decisions. So imagine you're looking for a destination, and there's a sign saying, go that way, take the next left, go straight down, blah blah blah. These life experiences that people like us have had are kind of directing you in a subconscious way, if you want to say that. Because when you're living in an environment where crime isn't shameful, well, some crimes aren't shameful, but there's crimes that are just beyond the pale, inexcusable, or that. But I'm talking about this culture of the local drug dealer, right? Drug dealing in a lot of communities is just like an extension of bootlegging. So see, like back in America in the 20s and the 30s, the Volstead Act, it was called, basically prohibition, alcohol was banned, right? Do you think the guys that were running about selling booze were shamed? They were kinda celebrated in a tacit manner, which I mean by that is, it's like, by tacit I mean it's like, it's no said, it's no spoken, you're celebrated, it's no said out loud, but you can tell in the way people look at them, speak about them, deal with them, and all that kind of shit, that what they're doing is seen as acceptable behaviour. Now, I'm not saying any committing crime is acceptable. What I'm trying to say is there is a kind of pervasive culture where, like, there's probably more people rooting them on than fucking bringing them down. But listen, I've had a lot of my family die through drugs and waste away through drugs, right? And when I was a kid, I didn't look at any of that behaviour as shameful, even though my family had been impacted by it. And I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that I had this goal in my head where I wanted to be like a famous criminal. I've obviously said this on other podcasts and all that, like people's channels I've been on, not, but I believe that came from lack of positive male role models, like, because my dad wasn't about, not, well, he was about, but he was too busy doing what he was doing to be guiding me and my brother in the right way. And I remember, so my dad was for the Gorbals, right? My dad actually hung about with, so Jimmy Boyle, who was for the Gorbals, he had a son, James Boyle, his name was Jamie, and he was actually murdered by Gary Moore, who confessed to fucking that ice cream war stuff. And I was actually staying in the Gorbals when that happened, but that happened in Oatlands. Remember my ma coming in and tell me. So I remember when I was a wee boy, my dad sitting telling me stories about, I never heard of Jimmy Boyle. And I remember buying the book Sense of Freedom when I was like fucking 10-year-old and reading about all these riots and fucking drinking dens and just carnage, right? So that's obviously had an impact on my forming brain, do you know what I mean? There's no two ways about that. That would be like me sitting my son down and saying, here, listen, this is your way forward, this is what you need to go out and do. See if MD says it and just fucking do this and do that, do you know what I mean? Like, I tell my son to stick up for himself, but I don't let him run about the streets like a fucking Ned, know what I mean? But this all these attitudes, behaviours, and the overall culture of this is fucking embedded in our prisons as well, because whether you like it or not, a lot of the people in prison come from similar backgrounds like myself or worse. And that's how I say when you go into prisons, there's like when you see posters in the wall, so if it's not a lassie with a bikini on, it's like Scarface, fucking Goodfellas, and do you know what? I was no different, man. That was the posters I had. I know that's how I'm saying this. And I remember one time we were on the violence prevention programme in Shorts, and there was tennies sitting there. They went round everybody and said, "What's your favourite film?" Every one said a gangster film. I said Goodfellas, Usual Suspects, Scarface, Godfather 2, all that shit. The only one that didn't say a gangster film was Robert Moon. He said Casablanca, but do you know what I'm thinking? Given the fact he hit the level of his psychopathy is through the roof, he was probably the only one that knew why the screws were asking that. Fucking scumbag. But anyway, and when I was talking on a video about Alan Marshall who died in Stockton, I was saying about how prison staff must have a culture as well, like the do's and the don'ts of being a screw. Do you get what I'm talking about? Because it's almost the mirror image that being a con and being a screw must be in a way two sides of the same coin. They're just humans as well. Do you think they don't go out at fucking night and get pissed or have a couple of patsies or fucking get into fights with colleagues? Man, trust me, some of the shit I've heard, like, they're just normal. But we're talking about ways they maybe stick together, ways that they maybe don't, ways that they maybe look at rehabilitation, ways they don't. And what I mean by that is, right, so the SBS management, Scottish Prison Service, will come up with shit like the next way of rehabilitation. This is the forefront, the cutting edge of rehabilitation, but it's just to sell it to the management who pass it after the screws on the front lines. A bit like fighting a war, know what I mean? Get shit rolls downhill, doesn't it? But you'll get like staff who are, they'll believe in the ideal of rehabilitation. We're all humans at the end of the day. See all that kind of stuff, the empathy and all that. There's maybe not enough of them, but then you'll get your hardcore ones, right? They'll just be like, they're all fucking scumbags, lock them all up, throw away the key, all that shit. Holy fuck, no wait, fuck SPCA, I thought that said NCA on it. Nearly shat myself, not that they'd be here for me, but look what the fuck they doing up here, foofed. Fucking hell, black minivan. Hope somebody's pet's alright, do you know what I mean? But, what was I got to say? And it's like with rehabilitation, it's just always like, oh, this is what we're going to do this time and we'll bring out these courses and we'll do this and do that, but they're pissing against the wind, man. And I don't know if that's because of the lack of help, the lack of belief that they can help, or the fact that prisons are just that fucked now, man. But to be fair, when you look at the couple of 100 years that prisons have been about, and I'm talking about the prisons, not about the old fucking there was another system before the prison system actually came out. There was another system. It was like basically like just a jail system, like back in the fucking feudal times, know what I mean? With just like fucking, see like just like somewhere you went, like Tower of London, like fucking all that mad shit. But there's always been punishment, and there should always be punishment. But how can you have the punishment right and then no have the fix after it? It's just and there's obviously a part for always to play. Like I always say, if I didn't come back home and start acting like pulling back for trouble, acting a bit more level-headed and all this stuff, that I dare say nobody would have fucking helped me, you know what I mean? And when I first came back, like I did get a lot of help from boys from my area and all that kind of stuff, and I felt like the attitudes towards me were changing, and maybe that was because they saw that I was helping myself. But what about like people with more severe problems and issues and all that are coming back and they feel they've got nothing? I was just in there like, I've just had a son, missed it on the first 8 years of his life. I'm getting it together. There is nothing that could make me leave him. and I say that, like, the only thing that could make me do anything absolutely crazy is if anything happened to him. Like, I don't know where I'd be. I'm not saying I would, but you just never know, do you? It would be, my world would be gone. There would be no reason for me to be walking the streets all this earth, to be honest, if anything happened to my son. But that's not going to happen, it's not happened, so I have a reason for being, and that's what we call a hook for change and desistance. What is it going to take for you to realise you need to stop committing crime? And I'm telling you now, they need to roll this desistance out in the jails. It has to be prison wide. Because if you can't learn about yourself and the processes and all these things that are maybe enabling you to commit crime, or could enable you to change, how you meant to fucking do it? And that's what I link back to what I said about the Scottish Prison Service, the corporate plan 2014 to 2017. We're going to roll out the assistance at the heart of purposeful activity, but it never happened. Do you know what I mean? And the reason I know it never happened was because I was in prison all the years. So, and I would go about asking after I'd read their corporate plans what they were going to roll out and all that, and they'd fucking heard it. Do you know what I mean? I'd only heard about it because I was doing a degree in criminology and I just stumbled on it. So maybe there needs to be more pressure on the prison system, for academia, for the criminal justice system, to get this in, and maybe put it into the probation service as well, and put it through the coursework instead of all this psychology shit. What could you have done differently? Like, get them looking inward instead of sounding accusatory. See, that just sounded pure pre-programmed, scripted bullshit to me. What could you have done differently? We would love to have you on the course, and I'm just sitting there with a smirk. And they must have thought I was smirking because I was just being a fucking cunt, but I wasn't. I was laughing because I just thought, nice try, mate. Come at it for a human level, no fucking the one size fits all nonsense, man, that's just failing all the time. And obviously, the thing is, when we're talking prison, and the thing is with the prisons and all right, they've see for that Spices Hut, it's the fucking carnage has went through the roof, and I was starting to remember I told you I was up at Shots last week or the week before, and I was talking to a boy that says there's 5 o'clock lockup every day now. It used to only be Saturdays and Sundays, but now it's every day. I'm wondering, he's saying it's because of COVID, right? But I'm wondering, has the attitudes of staff altered so much towards prisoners and management as well, that because of the spice and the violence and the deaths and all that they're just like, listen man, just fucking change it to 5 o'clock dub-ups now, and we'll just say, listen mate, COVID, play that COVID card, because let's be honest man, we've seen a lot of people playing that card, and I'm not saying it wasn't a thing, and all, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there was people pulling strokes and using that card, and there was a couple of cases on the news where people were recorded in office saying just play the COVID card and all that, so it was an angle. So who's to say they're not doing it as well? And that's what we're saying about, we were talking about trying to reform and all that, like fucking, what kind of environment are you creating where it's just about how well the institution's doing, rather than how the fuck do we help these people? I was going to say poor souls there, but I didn't, that just would have sounded completely wrong. How do we create an environment that catalyses change, transformation? Because listen, some of the worst days can change, and when I say worst days, I don't mean like your Tobins and all that. There's just, I don't care if you find the cure for cancer. There's nothing that could ever make that right. I'm talking about people like myself. I've no bodies on me, if you get me, but I've done a lot of bad shit, and I always thought it was because I was a bad person, but now that I'm older I realise I wasn't a bad person. I was fucking traumatised. I hate even using that word, right? But I mean, there was a lot of pain and anguish going on inside me, right? And I was using this fucking wannabe gangster image to mask it. That's a fact. That is a fact. And it's not to say I was a fucking... I was like, because I done bad things, like it wasn't like I was trying to portray myself as this hard man when I was just hiding in the house. Like I was out fucking like putting people in hospital, getting put in hospital, getting arrested on a fucking weekly basis. So it is what it is. So, and it's what I link back to what they're saying about we're going to roll out this trauma-informed approach in the prison system. That's not going to work in the adult system, with the men at least. It's not going to work, I can assure you that. Nobody's going to sit in a group of 10 guys and start talking about childhood trauma. I will bet my fucking bollocks on that. And they've not got the manpower to do one-on-one trauma-informed counselling with fucking that many guys. And if they have, it's not going to work, because you're seeing them once a week. This has to be intensive. It can't just be, I'll see you once a week, once a fortnight, once a month. Fuck off, mate. You're better dealing with it in your own. That's just how I would look at it. And I think that I was just that lucky. I don't want to say... I grudge saying prison done me good. The prison system never done me good, apart from paying for me to do a degree and giving me all the education I could fucking do. But that was... I don't know if it's a right in our prison system. I think education... I actually think I read somewhere in the rules that they have to give you education, so there you go. But no everybody's... I was just lucky that when I was a wee boy at school that I was into just fucking reading, right? What about the guy that can't read and write, but he could fucking fix tellies, take a telly apart, put it back together again, take a motor apart, put it back together, knows everything about motors. So how no link up with fucking employers outside that are willing to give guys a chance doing shit like that? Obviously you're not going to give a guy convicted of bank robbery a job in a fucking bank counting money or whatever, right? That would just be fucking... would not even entertaining that. But as long as the job position isn't analogous to the offence committed, like a beast getting a job in a nursery or fucking a school, right? That's just fucking letting a fox in a hen house. It's just stupid. But things like where people can use their talents, do you know what I mean? Like what I just said, and there's no any because of the stigma a lot of us come out to, and I feel like I think there's people that will tell you oh, I think guys should just get out and live a life, not blah blah blah, but sometimes I do question that, right? Because we all have things that we maybe not want to say, right? But we have to... do you ever ask yourself, where does this hang them all narrative come from? If you look at places like Norway or Sweden or whatever, they were at the forefront of rehabilitation, the cutting edge of rehabilitation, because they'd like a 20% re-offending rate. Ours is like fucking... the government tell us it's like down to 70%. Not a fucking chance, man. You recorded 70% of crimes, didn't they fall? Top pish. That's my thoughts, right? And I just don't trust statistics. I only think that the sample you recorded that's no the entire population subcategory, whatever you want to call it. I prefer, like, there's quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data is numbers, fucking all that shit, but qualitative data is like actually getting into prisons or whatever, the environment you're studying, and you just learn it, right? That, to me, that's better, because you're watching for patterns, putting it through like theoretical lenses, all that kind of stuff. So to me it's worth more, because you can compare words and actions, all that shit. Right here, sorry, I'm drinking my coffee, right? I drink out a pot noodle tub. like I used to do in the jail. My pals slag me for it. I have got mugs and cups in my house, but I actually don't like the feel of ceramic against my teeth for some reason. It makes me think of getting curb stomped or something. It actually does. That's never happened to me, but I want to add. But anyway, there's all this study into prison, in prison culture and like rehabilitation, probation, all that shit. But it seems to me the ones that work or could work aren't they being rolled out. And the mad thing is, see the third sector, that could probably do more to help guys get on the straight and narrow than the prison system ever could. And sometimes I wonder, is that why they're reluctant to give guys like myself paid positions in the third sector? Is it because it's like, I'm taking food off the table of the prison staff? Madness, mate. I don't know, maybe I'm just cynical. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit to it, I can be. But that's through my own life experience. That's not just through sitting watching the world go by out my front window. It's through my experience of people. But maybe that just means I've not been around the right people. And I would probably say there's a case for that, obviously, right? But in my personal experience, people who tell you they would never do that, they do it. And that's my experience. That's not me saying that's your experience, that's mine. Do you know what I mean? And that's probably how I don't trust words. I give people enough rope to hang themselves. Do you know what I mean? But if you're showing the willingness to change, right? And by that I mean, when you're in prison, you're taking the screws cheek. You're not just fucking botting them, man. You're no fucking punting. You're no running about trying to sort out fucking peg arseholes. You're no making tools. You're showing a willingness to change, and you're toeing the fucking line, jumping through the hoops. And by out here I mean willingness to change as in knocking the drinking drugs in the head, staying away from areas that could maybe be triggering. You're no fucking fraternising with known criminals, all that stuff. Then how is that not being recognised? Need to ask ourselves that, no think? And it's what I was talking about before in another video about a concept called judicial rehabilitation, right? If any are interested in this, look it up, honestly. That was one of the things, that was like how I ended up kind of getting into all this stuff, was because at the end of my degree I stumbled on it. So if you can prove to a court of law you're rehabilitated, why should the law not recognise that? Why is that not being recognised by law? They do it in European countries, and I think they do it in Massachusetts, in America. If you can present a case of rehabilitation to a court, then they'll basically legally recognise that. Imagine the fucking impact that would have. Know what I mean? Say there's rules to it, but it's not just, oh here, I've stayed out for 6 months and I've been off a sniff for fucking 8 years. No mate, no. It should be an intensive case, so say like you're trying to pursue that. I believe that you should be studied by like criminal justice social workers, whatever, so that they can make sure you're not just a mad fucking raging psycho trying to get one out on the system. You've truly redeemed yourself on the inside. I don't like using that word rehabilitation. I prefer reform, but I say it out of laziness. It's just laziness. Do you know what I mean? But there should definitely be an avenue for people. No, I don't even say that like I obviously I would like it for myself, but compared to who I was 10, 15 years ago, man, I'm not the same guy. But I also say that I don't believe that side ever leaves people. I believe that's your shadow. like Carl Jung called it the shadow, the hidden part of you, the part of you don't like, and all that, or your kind of the traits you maybe project on others and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's always there, but it's about cost benefit analysis and realising I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? I just my life would be over, and you couldn't be arsed with the kind of the baggage that goes with it, the mental and emotional baggage of committing, say, a violent offence or whatever. Like, I didn't look at committing violence back then as I do now, man. Do you know what I mean? Back then, I couldn't even think past getting revenge on somebody. I couldn't think past that. I couldn't put myself in somebody else's shoes. I just seen it as, you done something to me, I'm entitled. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that now. But at the same time, I don't believe I've potentially lost the capacity to act in a way that would be deemed violent. If I was walking down the street and if I had no means of escape and somebody's trying to hurt me, I'm not got to accept that. I have a son to live for, so I would do whatever I had to do in order to preserve my life and limb, do you know what I mean? And that's not a criminal thing, that's no criminal thinking, that's just that's a human instinct to me, do you know what I mean? But as I say, I don't promote cultures of fucking hurting people, not, because there's enough fucking hurting pain the fucking planet, know what I mean? And we've all got our own shit to deal with, fuck's sake. Know what I mean? So I'm no different that way. But I think the prison system has to link, I don't even know if they do, right, but you can't just expect staff at the bottom, I mean, like what we call the screws, we can't, the frontline staff, can't just expect them to be fucking picking up the ball all the time. Has to come for all is, even like cunts like myself. But you have to be willing, definitely have to be willing, know what I mean? And I do believe that prisons, like, I was reading a bit of research, it was saying, this was, let's say, 8 years ago, prisons were at a record high in all this. But then, we're looking at fucking 2024 and they're saying about reducing the use of remand. Remand's at a fucking all-time high. What happened there? Do you know what I mean? And I do get a lot of messages, right? Like obviously people watching the channel, not, and some are just like, oh, have you heard of this case? Some are just like try to pick your brain, or others are just like telling you they knew somebody that worked there and they heard this and that. But I would really like to get somebody who knows this inside out, who could speak to me about it, to like either speak to me behind the scenes or like come on and talk about it. So if any's are watching, like, feel free to email or contact me, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to fucking come on my channel and like pure expose the system and all that. Just come on and just, it's good to hear different points of view, and I do get why people wouldn't like to come on if they're still working there or whatever, but at the same time, I don't just like swallow every bit of bait I'm given. Like, I don't mean that to sound like weird, but what I mean is, like, obviously I try and listen objectively, do you know what I mean? But hopefully that we do see a time when judicial rehabilitation will be brought into the system, and guys, maybe even long after I'm gone, can fucking actually use it and become successes, and maybe even be celebrated for being a success and truly turning it round. Because if you met any members of staff that knew me, like, when I was like in my teens and my early 20s, they would have said, he will never change, man, never. And I was all about that fucking screw bastards, anti-screw crew, fucking wrecking myself, fucking putting the shite up. I only done that once or twice, done it in a police station once, but that was fucking to band my brother up. Me and my brother get done with ABH when we were 12 and 13, but we were held in the same cell, right? And he battered me in the cell and then got took out to get interviewed. So fucking I covered one, I done a shit in the cell, right? There was an old soak in the cell, I just had a pure idea, and I put it. It was only fucking 12 or 13, know what I mean? 95 it was. And covered one Bobby shite, and then went on the buzzer and says, gonna move me cell, man. I've been fighting with my brother and they moved me in our cell, and you should have heard them when he went back in. Oh, what, man, the fucking... But my point is, the change for then, do you know what I mean, to now. And it's, if anybody ever watches who Disney feel capable of change, I'd say to you, ask yourself, what do you love or cherish most in this world? For me, it's my kid. So I turn the other cheek to a lot of shit just so that I can be out here for that wee boy, because of the issues with his mum and that especially. Who's to say if his mum wasn't in a better place and there for him as much as I'm a, that I would be the person I'm a. You don't know, because it's no happened to you. Fuck's sake, slow down. But ask yourself, man, what do you know what I lost in this world? There's got to be something. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is for me, do you know what I mean? So, like I say, we've all got a part to play in this, man. It's not just the prison system. Aye, they've got a massive part to play in it, because they're basically putting you in a fucking environment that's, I would say, is catalysing crime. It's not preventing crime. You're preventing crime in the context you can't perpetrate it in the fucking free society. In there's crimes being committed every day. Now they're taking you to court for it, whereas years ago they either set about you or fucking put you in the seg. They're not preventing nothing, man. Only preventing you from doing it until the next time you get back out. Pure fucking propaganda, man. And I'm not saying they're all the same. I'm saying they need to look at themselves, start listening to guys with lived experience, all your favourite buzzwords. Fucking start listening to them and accepting that they've changed and they're looking to put something back in or whatever, instead of just going, no, what, fuck all them, we'll just do our own thing. See how far that gets you, man, know what I mean? How he's doing with it to know, know what I mean? Fuck's sake. No try to, it's the way I talk. It's like, I don't talk like I've just swallowed a dictionary, because I'm not going to sit and alienate people. Obviously when I'm sitting with academics, I tone down the swearing and try and speak like a half an academic, you know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm not going to change and fucking put on airs and graces. This is just who I'm at. Fuck's sake, know what I mean? And swearing's normal where I stay anyway, you know what I mean? It's just probably just the culture I stay in, innit? Oh. Fuck. Sweating now. But anyway, I'm going to go anyway, right? But maybe do another live at the weekend or something. But if I do, I'll put a post on so that people can come on and watch, man, and we'll sit and fucking talk shit, you know what I mean? But I'm going to head because my wee boy's coming in for school, man, and need to do what I need to do. So cheers for listening, yous, and I'll see you next time I'm back on. Bye.